It's day 2 of the letter U. Now we're going to start to add in not just downstroke thickness, but also upstroke thickness, because when you have a ribbon, it still stays the same thickness regardless of whether it's a downstroke or an upstroke. So we're going to do that same thing with our U. Take the tops and the bottoms though, and you're going to give them a flat line. Just sketch this in, top and bottom, and that will give you the transition points for when the ribbon flips over and becomes the other side. Now, let's start off with our straight lines going down. What would typically be our downstroke. You're going to thicken up the ribbon a little bit on both sides, and we are going to continue this all the way through our letter. Do though consider these flat areas. You're not rounding it all the way over. You're actually going to stop at that flat area because this is going to be one section of our ribbon. Flat at the bottom, flat at the top. Let's do that for this one over here. Add a little bit of thickness on both sides. Try to pay attention to how much thickness you added to this one so that it can be consistent. And down to the bottom, and then the other side, and down into the bottom. And then flatten it out on the top and the bottom. So we just finished off these two portions of the U, and now we're going to do the others. We have actually done it flipped as if this is coming in behind, which is absolutely fine. I find that starting off with those downstrokes can actually make it much more legible. Now we're going to put these other strokes in, and you might say, well, where do I put them? Again, you're going to think about creating that same amount of distance on either side of this initial stroke. So coming in right here, imagine that it goes all the way down to the bottom, to that flat line, and then all the way up to the top as well. And on the other side, up, and then obviously that would go up to this point right here. It got a little bit wide. You really do want to pay attention to make sure that your width of your ribbon is maintained. So this is a flat transition and a flat transition. Same thing over here, but here I noticed it's actually quite far out. So let's use that as sort of an outer boundary and get that same width happening over here. Same thing over here. We have our initial line. Let's create an outer line and an inner line, maintaining that width. Now for the endings, you can choose to either do a cut end like that if it's a pretty fancy ribbon, or if you're lazy like me and usually just cut it straight in real life, you can just do a straight end across. Let's do the pretty fancy cut end because we don't actually have to get up to find any sharp scissors to do it. You can just draw two little triangles using that middle line as your guide. So now we can actually see the different sections of the ribbon where one is overlapping the next. You have front portions of the ribbon, back portions of the ribbon, and next day we'll color in to really make those two stand apart even more with two related colors.